Why are some people more motivated to do difficult things? Why is it that while you logically know studying, working on your side business, or even exercising is better for you, you still prefer to watch TV or spend hours on social media instead? I know what you're thinking. Surprisingly, it has nothing to do with willpower, discipline, or self-control. Let me explain. Our brains are not designed to keep us happy. They are designed to keep us alive. So when it craves positive emotion, it reaches out to the fastest and easiest source possible. It just wants to fill that chemical void, and it doesn't care how. The brain is like a machine that only sees 0 and 1. It just wants to get away from 0, pain, and go towards 1, pleasure. It's a survival tactic which may have worked well in the caveman times, but with the modern life distractions, it's impossible to have the same effect, as there are so many easier and faster short-term pleasures that the brain obviously will choose over the actual fulfilling activities. So while you know that 20 minutes of exercise is more helpful to you than 20 minutes of watching TV, the second option seems more efficient to the brain as it requires less energy. This will cause you to get stuck in a loop called a pleasure trap, where you think you are doing what makes you happy but are actually self-destructing. The chemical in charge of this behavior is dopamine, a chemical in your brain that manifests in the pursuit of goals and basically motivates you to do things. Dopamine doesn't just feel good. It reinforces the structure that produced it by activating a circuit that only wants one thing: more dopamine. It's similar to drinking, for example. If you are taking little hits, a small amount of alcohol is enough to get you there. But if you are overloading yourself with alcohol regularly, then you will need higher doses to get the same simulation, since your body has built up a higher tolerance. That's what leads to addiction. Activities like video games, for example, are engineered to be dopamine dispensers. The constant shift between challenge and reward has been designed to be just the right amount to keep you hooked, but it doesn't create a meaningful engagement, so it does not fulfill you. Besides this, social media is becoming a bigger cause for dopamine addiction nowadays. But how to regain control of our brain chemistry? The way you decompose that circuit is by not giving it what it wants. This is where resetting the mind becomes a need. Putting any system under deprivation for a while will help recover its sensitivity, ultimately helping you in dopamine addiction recovery. Your brain is going to start looking for ways to fill that dopamine gap, so it will go to the next best activities. Think of it this way. The goal is to be so bored that even boring stuff becomes fun. It looks strange, but that's how to reset the mind. The best method is to do a hard reset for 24 hours, which includes fully avoiding anything that triggers dopamine production. But you need to strictly follow the dopamine detox rules. Things not allowed include social media, smoking, drugs and alcohol, any form of digital entertainment, including porn, and you guessed it, masturbation. But things you are allowed to do: eating a healthy diet, writing, reading, exercising, meditating, staring at walls, and sleeping. The intense detox will include avoiding food and only drinking water for 24 hours, but that's a medical choice I can't recommend to everyone. Check with your doctor and decide for yourself. Viewers, Mr. Smart has elaborated the 24-hour dopamine detox in detail. A video that will help you in dopamine addiction treatment by learning exactly how to do a dopamine detox. Watch the complete video with its link in card and description. Now, how to deal with setbacks. The problem is when one pillar of your discipline collapses, every other pillar falls apart. Everything is tied together when it comes to mass dopamine release. Each habit is connected to the next, and in order to achieve full control, you need to change all your habits. Firstly, you want to make sure you don't get too hard on yourself. Don't dwell on it. If you missed one step, simply get back on track. It's a biochemical addiction and has nothing to do with your self-control or willpower. And in fact, the setbacks can help you track your pattern easier. Secondly, you want to learn to recognize what started this chain of events and what does my pattern look like when collapsing. Once you recognize the arguments that your brain is going to make, you can identify the behaviors when they start. Soon, the temptations will be much easier to identify and eventually ignored. You'll start noticing the dopamine detox benefits. The good news is, healthy habits get easier the longer you practice them. Because once you wipe out the options, you will no longer have the craving and it no longer takes up mental space. Finally, the more irrelevant things you remove from your life, the more you are able to focus on what truly matters. Because you are no longer being misled by dopamine. Addiction is like borrowing happiness from tomorrow. You're sacrificing your future for your present. That pattern needs to be reversed and lead us all to ultimately have a happier future. Viewers, Mr. Smart has crafted a complete series of animations to help you folks learn what is dopamine addiction and how to do a dopamine addiction detox. Don't forget to watch it. The link is in the card and description. Now, answer these simple questions in the comment section. 1. In your experience, how bad has dopamine addiction been? 2. Have you ever been caught in dopamine addiction? You should also share your dopamine detox results with Mr. Smart and other viewers. Dear viewers, this animation is based on the writing of Kim Mia. Subscribe to Mr. Smart to watch more animations based on her writings. I need to remind you that Mr. Smart is not just a YouTube channel. It is a complete learning and self-development platform. Visit the website mrsmart.org to find more content, quizzes, and courses. You can also join the Smart Club through the link in a pinned comment for illustrations, PDF version, and a detailed quiz of every new animation. Live long, smart living.